Full disclosure, participated in as the chairman in the investigation on the intelligence side of Benghazi and released a committee report. What was that, two years ago now? And that was bipartisan. And there was no, and I think it was thorough. So I looked at it very different. I looked at it as a former investigator, and if you're going to find the facts, you can't have a political persuasion interfere with the facts. It's just not healthy. And with the power of the government, could be, can ruin a person's career or character or whatever. You best be darn careful with that authority. That's my thinking on these things. And so I think we did a pretty thorough report. Matter of fact, the timeline that you saw in that was out of our report, and most of the facts. Let me back up. I found most of the time I had to. People were throwing things over the transom, like that there was gun running in Libya. So I took it serious. Any complaint I would take serious, just like you would as a law enforcement officer. You take those serious. We investigated. I couldn't find it. The fact that there was a stand-down order, our facts and fact pattern just did not determine there was a stand-down order. There was a period of waiting before the order was given because they were trying to get extra help. That's different than a stand-down order. So, I think it's very difficult in that environment, and I worked in a way that built the trust of both Republicans and Democrats to do that. That's hard. It's not easy. And by the way, I caught as much hell from my own party doing that as I did anyone else in that process. So move on to the Benghazi committee, and our challenge was for committee chair is I didn't have jurisdiction over the State Department. I didn't have jurisdiction over Department of Defense. So when I was calling witnesses and doing that, I didn't have the authority to call them in. So I didn't. I focused on what I could answer. So the Benghazi committee had an opportunity in the sense that they didn't have that jurisdiction problem. They could go in any direction that the leads and facts took them. It just seemed like it got unraveled very quickly into this partisan event, or at least it felt that way. And I think the result is that people are a little skeptical of the report, which is unfortunate. I think there's some good things in there that we didn't know about the policy decisions made at the White House or lack of decision making in the White House during the event. That's pretty good to know. That was out of my lane. But most of the facts patterns on the ground remained consistent. So the committee work stayed about the same, but they were able to get into the leadership chain, which I thought was pretty important. And it showed some either incompetence problems or worse in the decision-making fact pattern. So it's hard to do. I don't know if we'll ever get to a big bipartisan investigative committee anymore, certainly in the state of dysfunction in Congress today.